What's up with it? Back at you once again. You already know everything boxing and sports. I don't watch reality TV. I watch boxing. There you go talking that boxing again. And like I always do, I'm going to give y'all a chance to get these notifications, know that I'm in the building. We're going to go ahead and get this show started real soon. And when you come in the building, let me know you in the building. And hit the like button when you come in the building too. Let me know you in the building when you in the building so I can give you a shout out. Let me know where you coming from. Michael Bass Jr. off in the building. What's good? I see you, homie. Mark Shoe, what's good with it? I see you. Michael Bass coming from that Chi-Town. What it do?
It just can't be understood. People think hustling is cool. All hustling is live. They don't understand hustlers only hustling to survive. They wish they lived in the burbs. Wish they didn't have to hang out in corners in low income housing projects.
Catfish Hunter, what's good with it, fam? I see you.
Nobody showing you pride, and you live with all this action inside. Don't let nobody tell you what you can or you can't do. Just because you couldn't do it, they ain't you. You can be who you wanna be. Just like how you feel. Put your faith in the Lord. Now this keeping it real for real.
Marcus Lloyd, what's good with it? And y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all share this to your boxing groups too. Share this to your boxing groups. Jack Ashford, what's good with it? Abram off in the building, what's good with it? Yeah, we about to get the show started real soon. We gonna dive right into it too. We ain't gonna waste no time. I'm gonna just give me about another minute. Let some more people come in the building. We're gonna get it started. And like I said, when you come in the building, let me know you in the building. Put in your, let me know where you coming from, and share this to your boxing groups. And hit the like button when you come in the building too. Make sure you hit that like button. Bruce Goals was good with it. Todd Swindle, what's happening with it? He said ATL in the building. Yeah, you know I had to put on that throwback prime, that Deion Sanders, that throwback Deion Sanders. Fam, Antoine Harris, what's good with it? Off in the building. What's happening with it? And like I said, if you in here, if you watching on Facebook, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Everything Boxing and Sports. I'm live over there too. So, and make sure you hit the like button too. And share this to all your boxing groups. So we just gonna go ahead and, we're gonna jump into it. So first thing I want to touch, like I told y'all last night I was gonna touch on, I want to touch on Kell Brook and Terrence Crawford. Let's talk about Kell Brook and Terrence Crawford. Kell Brook and Terrence Crawford is a fight that's been rumored for a few years now. Now, if you go back, I think it was probably like a year and a half ago. If you go back in my archives on YouTube, a year and a half ago, I interviewed Errol Spence. When I was chopping it up with Errol Spence, I had asked him way back then, because it was rumored way back then that Kell Brook and Terrence Crawford were going to fight each other. That's how long, they've been going back and forth talking about fighting each other, right? Or, really more so, Kell Brook been talking about fighting Terrence Crawford for a long time, right? So way back then, I asked Errol Spence, I said, if Terrence Crawford and Kell Brook fight at this point in time, how you feel about that? And, at the point in time, Errol Spence, he was like, Kell Brook is done. This is what Errol Spence is saying. He was like, Kell Brook done. He was basically like, Terrence Crawford gonna wash him. A lot of people seem to think that, right? A lot of people seem to think that what's good with it, Scotty White up in the building. Everybody go subscribe to World Combat Sports. Scotty White, he be over there doing his thing. And like I said before, he covers boxing and MMA. So y'all make sure y'all go check out World Combat Sports on YouTube. Back to what I was saying. A lot of people seem to think and agree with what Errol Spence was saying, well over a year ago when I interviewed him and I asked him about the Kell Brook and Terrence Crawford fight. People think that Kell Brook is done. They think, ever since Errol Spence beat him, broke his other eye socket, he's done. But I'm here to say that, don't sleep on Kell Brook. Don't sleep on Kell Brook, because the thing that with Kell Brook is coming in as a dark horse in this Terrence Crawford fight. The fight is not signed, sealed, and delivered, but it's pretty much done. They pretty much just working out, a few kinks, and the fight is pretty much done. Now, I'm here to tell y'all, don't sleep on Kell Brook. Kell Brook could be a dark horse in this fight. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. I'm going to tell you the reason why you shouldn't sleep on Kell Brook. For one, we really don't know. We don't know how good Kell Brook still is. We really haven't seen Kell Brook in a meaningful fight since he fought Errol Spence. We saw Kell Brook after he fought Errol Spence. He took another long layoff. He had an injury. The eye socket injury. He took another long layoff, and then he moved up to 154. Kell Brook was crying about he couldn't make 147 no more. He moved up to 154. When he moved up to 154, he didn't look impressive at all. His first comeback fight, I believe. I can't remember who he fought. He fought. I think it was Zarafa, Michael Zarafa. He moved up. No, he fought. No. After he fought Kell Brook, he moved up and he fought Ribinchenko, or somebody, some no name. Because Kell Brook, he ain't fought nobody pretty much but no names. Since he hasn't fought nobody but no names ever since the Kell Brook fight, right? So he moved up to 154. Hold on, something happening with my. Okay, anyway, so he moved up to 154 and he fought Ramchenko. Ramchenko. He fought Ramchenko, and when he moved up to 154, he didn't look impressive. If y'all remember when he moved up, he didn't look impressive at all. He kind of struggled in that fight. He ended up winning the fight. He ended up getting the KO in that fight, but he did struggle in that fight, right? So after that, everybody thought that Kell Brook had pretty much fell off. Everybody thought that Kell Brook had fell off after that. Then Kell Brook, he comes back and he fights another fight at 154. He fights Michael Zarafa, another opponent that don't nobody know who is. Nobody know who that is. He fighting these no-name opponents over there from the UK. And he got a unanimous decision in that fight. He didn't look too spectacular in that fight either. Give me a second, y'all. Something going on with my some messing up here. Give me a second, y'all. It's showing me that is kicking people out and bringing people back in. Let me know if everything is still good on y'all end. Let me know if everything is still, because it's showing me that people are getting kicked out and coming back in. Let me know. Somebody type in the comment section and let me know if everything is still, good on y'all end. Like I said, somebody type in the comment section and let me know if everything is still good on y'all end. Okay. All right, cool. So anyway, like I was saying, so Kell Brook, he had a couple fights at 154 and he didn't look impressive at all, right? He didn't look impressive at 154, right? So from that point on, and probably including myself, a lot of people thought, well, Kell Brook is pretty much done. Kell Brook is pretty much done. Kell Brook is not beating none of the top guys no more, especially if he got to go all the way down to 147. But see, I'm here to tell you is that we think that, but we really don't know. Because see, this is the thing with Kell Brook. We don't know what Kell Brook has left in the tank because, and this is the reason why. Kell Brook, one thing I've noticed with Kell Brook is when Kell Brook is in shape, when he's active and he's really training, this is from the past. We've seen that Kell Brook was a hell of a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Kell Brook, to me, beat Sean Porter more convincingly and easier than anybody that's faced Sean Porter. That was a long time ago, but he still did it. To me, in my opinion, he beat Sean Porter more easily than Keith Thurman or Errol Spence. He just manhandled Sean Porter. Um, and he gave Errol Spence, some would say the toughest fight, of his career. It's between him and Sean Porter, whatever one you want to say. But we know that Kell Brook on his A game was a beast, and he was very avoided in the 147-pound division. Kell Brook has only taken one L at 147. Nobody but Errol Spence has beaten Kell Brook at 147. And like I said, one thing I noticed is when Kell Brook really trains and he don't, and he's not blowing up in weight, taking long layoffs, Kell Brook is solid. You know what I'm saying? I noticed that Kell Brook, from my opinion, in my eyes, he has stopped taking the sport of boxing serious for a while. He's taking them long layoffs. He wasn't taking the sport of boxing serious for a while. So with him getting a big fight against Terrence Crawford, because let's keep it real. Ramchenko and Michael Zarafa and all of them dudes, don't nobody know them guys. Nobody know them dudes. So how can you get up to fight Ramchenko and Zarafa, guys that don't nobody know? You can't really get up to fight dudes like that. But if you're going in there fighting the Terrence Bud Crawford, right? And this is your last time, I would expect Kell Brook to really be on his AAA game and to really, really take this shit serious and train like a fucking beast. So if Kell Brook really take this fight serious and train like a beast and and come in looking like the old Kell Brook, shit, who knows? He could give Terrence Crawford a hell of a fight. And he could upset Terrence Crawford. Because one thing, this is a fight that it's a fight that has a lot of questions to be answered. Because for one, how good is Kell Brook still at this point in time, right? How good is Kell Brook at this point in time still? For two, what will Terrence Crawford do and how will Terrence Crawford look against a top welterweight? Somebody that was once a top welterweight, right? We'll say that, because Kell Brook, he hasn't been fighting at welterweight. But like I said, when he was at welterweight, he was the top dog when he was at welterweight. How will, Terrence Crawford do if Kell Brook do come in there and be a beast like he was? Because we don't know what Kell Brook we gonna get. Let's be honest. We can say that we think he's washed up, but we don't know because he hasn't fought a meaningful opponent since he fought Errol Spence for us really to be able to know. You know what I'm saying? So what's Terrence Crawford gonna do if he get that same Kell Brook that Errol Spence got? How is he gonna face adversity when he got a real top level welterweight in the ring with him, right? That can punch, that can box, and that's gonna cause him a real threat. Because if Kell Brook hurts him, he ain't gonna be able to get off the hook like he did against them other lower level opponents. Now, don't take me wrong, I'm taking Terrence Crawford in this fight, but I'm just saying it's a lot of things to think about when it comes to this fight. And Terrence Crawford could go in there and watch Kell Brook. We could get a washed up Kell Brook, but we don't know. So let me get through some of y'all comments and see what y'all talking about in the comment section. Jack Ashford says Errol Spence had a slow start against Kell Brook, but Spence was clearly the better man on that night. Oh, for sure. But we got a lot of dudes that'll make the I excuse and tell you different. Some guy says Kell Brook is an A-level fighter, but he's up in age. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We know he was an A-level fighter. Is he still that A-level fighter? And hit my like button. because I see y'all in here, but hit the like button. Cassandra Mason, what's good with it? Oh, you ain't too late. I just had really started cooking, Cassandra. I came on a little later today. Mr. Reyes J says, what's good with it? The fight is pretty much confirmed. They just trying to, basically working out a few more things, with paperwork and everything. Let me see. Dom Reeks off in the building. Ronald Finkley off in the building. What's good? Black Star Sports TV. He said he got Kell Brook for the upset. Let me give me 1 second, y'all. Let me see. I'm gonna try to see if Blue Blood. I'm gonna see if Blue Blood want to come in here and cook on this. Give me a second, y'all. All right, so let me get through some of y'all comments. Dom Reek says Kell Brook is almost finished. Well, that's what I'm saying, Dom Reeks. We think that, right? We think that Kell Brook is almost finished, but we don't know until we see Kell Brook in the ring with somebody like Terrence Crawford. We got to see Kell Brook in the ring with a meaningful opponent that he can get up for, somebody that he really gonna take serious and really train for. Those other dudes in the UK, them nobodies that he been fighting, we don't know if he was taking them serious. Don Reese said he been too inactive. That's a thing. I feel you. I agree with you. I agree that Kell Brook has been too inactive, but we don't know. Can he turn back can he turn back the hands of time? Can he turn back that clock and be the old Kell Brook? Let me see. Willis Corey says, I believe Crawford is going to make Brook come forward and catch him with good shots. Yeah. And then on the other end, you got to look. This is a serious fight for Crawford too, because not only do Kell Brook got a lot on the line, because if Kell Brook go in here and he get washed out by Crawford, nobody is going to want to see Kell Brook no more. You know what I'm saying? The only thing Kell Brook will have left is to beg to see if Amir Khan will fight him and they can make a big fight in the UK. Other than that, wouldn't nobody want to see nothing from Kell Brook again, right? But one thing, Kell Brook got to make that weight. I seen a few videos of Kell Brook, right? And I don't know how Kell Brook will make 147. I seen Kell Brook, I seen him in person. I don't know how he'll make 147, but one minute he'll tell you he can make the 147-pound weight easy. Another minute he'll tell you he can't make 147. So we don't even know if he can really make the weight like that, right? But on the other end, we got Terrence Crawford, right? Terrence Crawford, Black Star Sports TV says that he hear that Kell Brook is already close to the weight. Black Star Sports TV, I just seen a video a couple weeks ago with Kell Brook. He was talking about, it was on IFL TV, and he was talking about how he's, doing cycling and all of that, and he wasn't nowhere close to no 147. Kell Brook was more up in the high 180s. So if you heard that he already close to the weight, that's a damn lie. I'll tell you that. Black Star Sports TV, that's whoever told you that is a lie. But like I said, Terrence Crawford, right? Terrence Crawford got a lot on the line because not only is Terrence Crawford going in fighting the Kell Brook that most people already think is washed up. Not only is Terrence Crawford going in there fighting the Kell Brook that already has suffered two broken eye sockets, right? And not only is he fighting a Kell Brook that's already lost to his biggest arch nemesis, Errol Spence, and Errol Spence already stopped him. So everybody gonna be expecting one for Terrence Crawford to go in there and look spectacular, right? And everybody gonna expect him to go in there and look spectacular and finish Kell Brook. Not only get the win, but everybody gonna be expecting Terrence Crawford to go in there and finish Kell Brook. So don't think that Terrence Crawford don't have a lot on the line, because if Terrence Crawford go in there and he gets a win, but he don't look too impressive doing it, and he have a hard time, and Kell Brook fight him to 12 rounds, it's not going to look good. It's not going to look good for him, even trying to negotiate when he goes to the negotiating table with to Errol Spence. Because I'm going to tell you, we know what people are going to say already. People are going to say that finally he got exposed because he finally fought somebody that was a worthy opponent at 147. And that's what people are going to say. That's just what it is. So, I mean, it's a lot on the line when it comes to this fight. You dig? It's a lot on the line for both opponents. Yeah, it's a lot on the line for both opponents. So what what we gonna see? This is a fight I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at this fight because this is a fight that I was calling for a couple years ago. If y'all been watching me, if y'all remember, I was kind of calling for the Kell Brook Terrence Crawford. I know it's late, but who else? If Terrence Crawford, I'd rather see him fighting Kell Brook than fighting Patrick Teixeira, going up to 154 and fighting him, because he ain't shit, or fight any of them other no-name opponents, because if he don't fight Kell Brook, he ain't gonna fight nobody else. So I mean, it's late. It's late. The Kell Brook fight, you know what I'm saying? It's late. Kell Brook might be washed up, but he might not be. But it's better than nothing. You dig what I'm saying? And if Kell Brook come in there in tip-top condition on his A game, he could really, really be a problem for Terrence Bud Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Everybody like to act like Terrence Crawford is untouchable and this and that, but Terrence Crawford gets touched. Terrence Crawford, he ain't got the best defense, and he gets touched at times. But Terrence Crawford is a great fighter. But Kell Brook was once considered as a great fighter. Let me see what y'all talking about in these comments. Let me see. Stay Ready Boxing TV. What's good with it? Let me see. Hold on. I'm getting to the comments. Mr. Reg J said, how is Kell Brook almost finished in everyone's eyes? He said he's coming off 2 KOs in a unanimous decision at 154. He says, granted, they were nobody's. He said, granted, they was nobody's. He said, but that's all Bud has been fighting lately is nobody's. Like I said, Mr. Reg J, you saying basically what I'm saying, like, everybody thinks that he's done, but we can't just, we just can't tap him out. We can't tap out Kell Brook because we got to see him in a meaningful fight, and we got to see him fold up against a top tier opponent because, yeah, he been fighting nobodies, but he's still getting wins. You know what I'm saying? He's still getting KOs. He's still winning his fights. His first 2 fights at 154, he didn't look too impressive. but he still was winning the fight clearly. So we got to see what he do. Um, and like I said, who knows? He might have not even been taking them fights serious. You know, how can you get up and train for nobodies when you was once on the top level fighting guys like Gennady Golovkin, Sean Porter, Errol Spence? Now you going and you fighting dudes in another weight division that nobody never heard of before if you don't live in the UK. So I mean, they always say that, a lot of fighters say it take a certain type of fighter for them to get up for it. And once again, I've watched Kell Brook over the years, and I've seen that Kell Brook lately, in my eyes, he hadn't really been taking boxing too serious. You can tell when somebody's not taking boxing serious when they don't have no injury, they just taking long layoffs, and blowing up in weight. And that's what Kell Brook was doing. He was taking long layoffs, blowing up in weight, and then, taking fights against nobodies. Thomas Reed says, if you assume Brook is close to the level he was against Spence, how does he match up against Crawford stylistically? Well, Kell Brook liked to come forward and he liked to throw a lot of combinations. Kell Brook, he has a good jab. He can fight. Kell Brook, he can fight on the outside and he's strong in the inside. So you're not going to be able to physically push around Kell Brook and outmuscle him. Errol Spence told you that, and he showed you that, right? And this ain't the Errol Spence that we seen against Porter and Mikey Garcia. The Errol Spence that fought Kell Brook was a whole different animal. You dig what I'm saying? Body looked different and everything. And he told you that Kell Brook was a strong motherfucker that he had. He told you that Kell Brook was the strongest dude that he ever had been in the ring with, as far as professionally, right? So Terrence Crawford's strong too. I think Terrence Crawford, his strength is underrated, but he's not going to be able to go in there and push around Kell Brook. I would give the strength edge to Kell Brook, because Kell Brook is the bigger man. I mean, we seen how Kell Brook was manhandling Sean Porter. That should tell you all you need to know right there, right? So stylistically, Kell Brook, I mean, of course, Terrence Crawford, he has an edge because he can switch. Terrence Crawford, I would say, is quicker. But as far as, everything else, I mean, if you got a Kell Brook at his A level, they match up pretty good stylistically. Kell Brook got a jab. He can fight on the outside. He can muscle you up on the inside. Terrence Crawford, he can fight on the outside. He can hold his own on the inside. They both get hit. You know what I'm saying? They both get hit at times. I don't know. Like I said, stylistically, it's a good stylistic fight if you really, really look at it. You know what I'm saying? One thing that Kell Brook does, Kell Brook tends to fade in the later rounds, and Terrence Crawford, he tends to come on stronger in the later rounds. We don't see Terrence Crawford fading, Terrence Crawford, he in the later rounds, he's better than he is in the earlier rounds. So that could present a big problem to Kell Brook. If Kell Brook start fading, especially having to cut all that weight. Just like my man, my man Willis Corey says, dropping that much weight, the body will fatigue. Now, if Kell Brook starts to fatigue because he has to drop so much weight, that's going to be a problem, because we already know Terrence Crawford is coming in there in tip-top condition, and Terrence Crawford is stronger in the later rounds than he is in the earlier rounds. So I mean, it's a lot of questions to be answered in this fight. Um, if you, we all know that Kell Brook is gonna be a huge underdog, and this is not a bad fight to, you know, maybe put up $100 on just to see what happened, you know, on Kell Brook, just to see what happens. Because I'm telling y'all, if Kell Brook can turn back the hands of time and be the Kell Brook at 147 that he was when he fought Errol Spence, it's gonna be a long night for Terrence Crawford. If that's an if. Uh Let me see what y'all talking about. Let me see what y'all talking about. Thomas Reed says Terrence Crawford has a 4.5-inch reach advantage over Brook. I see him exploiting that in the fight. You could be 100% right. Ronald Finkley says Frank Warren, Kell Brook promote. Is Frank Warren Kell Brook's promoter? No, I think Kell Brook is under. He with Eddie Hearn. Or he might have switched to Frank Warren. One of them. Nah, he might not be with Eddie Hearn no more. I don't know. He might be with Frank Warren now. Willis Corey says Crawford finna prove a point. I do believe, and after that fight, make the fight happen with Spence. Yeah, Crawford got a lot to prove in this fight. He has a lot to prove. Both of these fighters got a lot to prove. You know, Kell Brook, his career on the line. Crawford, his reputation is on the line, and a big mega fight with Errol Spence is on the line. So he got his bread on the line. And he got to defend that number one pound for pound status a lot of people have him at. Black Star Sports TV says, what Bud gonna do when he turn up in the fight, and his opponent does too, and then he don't get a stop? We gotta see. We gotta see, because we gotta see what Kell Brook gonna do, because one thing we know is Bud Crawford gonna turn up on Kell Brook. Black Star Sports TV, Bud Crawford is going to turn up on Kell Brook. Now, when Bud Crawford turns up on Kell Brook, he probably gonna do it in the later rounds. When Bud Crawford turns up on Kell Brook, how is Kell Brook gonna react to that? How is Kell Brook gonna react to Terrence Crawford turning up on him? Cassandra Mason says, I know we have the Bud fans and Spence fans. She says, I rock with both heavy, with EJ with the upper. She said with EJ with the upper edge. She says, I believe Bud will win impressively over Brook, but Bud got shit to prove in this fight. Yeah, hey, that's real talk, Cassandra. Bud got a lot to prove. And like I said, he can't just go in there and get a unanimous decision victory. He got to go in there and stop Kell Brook. He got to stop Kell Brook. Catfish says after GGG, he was never the same. He should never took that fight. I don't know. We can't say that he was never the same, because he looked the same, you know, until Errol Spence, you know, broke him down. He looked great in that fight until Errol Spence just kept pressing him and broke him down, broke his wheel. You know, I can't say that he wasn't the same. You know, Otto Toro says Kell weakness is his face. Bones are weak. Well, I mean, how long do you need to heal? I mean, you know, and you might be right, Toro. You might be right. He might go in there against Terrence Crawford, and when Terrence Crawford turn up on him, Terrence Crawford might break one of his eye sockets again. We don't know. It's a lot of questions to be answered in this fight. That's why I don't have no beef with this fight. I don't have no problem with them making this fight. I would have much rather them make this fight at a catch weight, you know, to make it more even, make it more kind of fair to Kell Brook, because let's keep it real. Kell Brook ain't fought at 147 pounds in over 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Since he fought Kell Brook. And Kell Brook has been walking around at sometimes, I heard he sometimes get up to damn near 200 pounds, right? He get up to damn near 200 pounds sometimes, right? So let's keep it real. I think it would have been a lot better if they would have let them fight at a catch weight. Let them fight at 150. You know what I'm saying? Let Crawford go up 3 pounds. Let Kell Brook go down 4 pounds. That's cool with me. But, hey, Crawford to A side. Crawford, he calling the shots in this fight. So it is what it is. Kell Brook said he could make the weight. Now it's time for him to prove that he can make that weight and make that weight healthy. Can he make, because he probably can make the weight, but can he make that weight healthy? Catfish Hunter says he gonna get beat up no matter what shape he come in. He could. World Combat Sports says Lopez negotiates the purse with an extra 800,000 he says to even it at 2 million. How you feel about the results? I know it's a bit off topic. Well, we was talking about this yesterday, and like I had said that Lomachenko, he studded up on him. Here, you can have I'll give you 800,000 out of my purse. How do I feel about this World Combat? I'm gonna make it real quick and simple. Now that Lomachenko, he really done pissed off Lomachenko. Now that man that had to give up almost $1 million out of his own purse to get his fucking crybaby, to make this crybaby sign the dotted line. Now when they fight, I'm gonna tell you right now, and everybody watching me, mark my word, Vasyl Lomachenko is going to embarrass the shit out of Teofimo Lopez. He's going to embarrass Teofimo Lopez. He has a point to prove, and he's going in there to embarrass Teofimo Lopez. I think he feels disrespected, because how you going to call me out for years and talk all of this shit, and then when it come down, I got to come out of my pocket to pay you for you to make the fight after you already making 3 times more than you've ever made in your whole entire career. So I think he feels disrespected. I think he's pissed off, and he's highly irritated. I think he's going in there to embarrass Teofimo Lopez. I think he's going to embarrass Teofimo Lopez, just like he did Rigondeaux. Teofimo Lopez might last all 12 rounds, but I'm telling y'all, if put your money on Teofimo Lopez if you want to. And that's all I got to say about that. And I'll probably cook on that some more, another day. But anyway, back to y'all comments on Kell Brook and Terrence Crawford. Cleo Floyd says Kell Brook about to get beat like a drum. Spence ruined him. You could be right. But like I said, what if Kell Brook come in there in tip-top condition and come in there the old Kell Brook, that he was 3 years ago? We got to think. Kell Brook, 3 years is not that long, right? Kell Brook, ever since he fought Errol Spence, he hasn't really taken no punishment. The only thing with me with Kell Brook is his inactivity and how good a shape is he going to be in. When is this fight going to be made, right? Kell Brook has been training. Let's say he's been training for a month now, right? I don't know if he's been sparring and everything, but he kind of been trying to get his weight down for the past month, right? We in August, right? Say they had a fight, say early, because when are you gonna have this fight, right? You can't have it in mid-November because we already got a lineup. You got Errol Spence and Danny Garcia. You got other big fights, right? Say if you have it early November, right? Early November. We in August right now. September, October, November. You still got 3 more months to train for the fight. right? Along with the month that you already basically had to kind of get your body in shape to start a training camp. So let's say 4 months. That's plenty of time. He got plenty of time to get in shape. He has plenty of time to, get in shape. So we got to see. Like I said, this is a dangerous fight for both opponents. Don't sleep on Kell Brook, because you can't just write him off like he's just been getting whooped. You haven't seen him lose a fight since he lost a fight to Errol Spence, even though he ain't fought nobody. But still, he still ain't lost to nobody. Brown Foster Show says, Bud hardly ever uses his reach. All he knows how to do is turn up and bring heat. Now, if you go back and look at Bud Crawford, I've been watching Bud his whole career. He know how to move around the ring and box when he need to. If you go back in the Victor Postal fight, he didn't really engage with Victor Postal like that. He was moving around the ring and he was staying away from Victor Postal, and he was boxing. He outboxed Victor Postal. He didn't get into no slugfest with Victor Postal. That's why a lot of people was talking about how boring the fight was, because he didn't really engage with Victor Postal. Really these past few years, Bud Crawford has really just started really turning up like that and really banging it out, especially earlier on in Bud Crawford's career. He boxed a lot. If you go back to the Ricky Burns fight, he was boxing, moving and boxing. D Hodges says, what's good with it, D? What's good with it? Let me see. I lost y'all. Let me see. Hold on. Cleo Floyd says, I don't like this fight for Bud, shaking my head. He says, you mean to tell me that this is the best competition they can find for him? I mean, well, Cleo Floyd, Ugas, they could have, Ugas, but Ugas chose to take another route. Ugas, and that ain't on Bud Crawford. I'm not finna sit up here and put that on Bud Crawford. Yordenis Ugas could have very well fought Bud Crawford. That could have been a great fight, but that wasn't on Bud Crawford because Ugas decided to fight somebody else, right? He decided to go another route. He getting a title shot, right? Who else? Bud Crawford. We already know Errol Spence tied up. We know that who else? We know that Danny Garcia tied up with Errol Spence. We know that Manny Pacquiao didn't want to take the fight. You know what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao didn't want to take the fight, or Bob Arum didn't want to make that fight because Bob Arum said that they could find a overseas investor that wanted to put the money in to make a mega fight with Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. So that was off the table. That wasn't Bud Crawford's fault. And then Porter. Him and Porter want to play friends. They want to act like they don't want to fight each other because they best of friends. But then again, you ain't never even seen them two dudes together. But that's a whole different story. So, that's what we got. So who you got left? After we name everybody off, who you got left? You got you really ain't got really nobody left. You know what I'm saying? If you go down the line, Kell Brook is the next best thing up. So that's what they did. Like I said, I don't have a problem with this fight. Me personally, I don't have no beef with this fight because we cannot say that we know 100% that Kell Brook is washed up because we don't know. Carla S says Spence wore Brook down to the body, not the eye socket. Exactly, Carla. I've been saying that, Carla. Everybody want to make it like Spence broke him down and broke his wheel. He pressed him. Spence pressed him from the first round to the 11th round when he got him up out of there. He pressed him. He broke his wheel and broke his eye socket. Kell Brook told you after the fight what happened. If see, people like to forget and they want to skip over. They want to take pieces that they want to take out, but then they want to skip over other intricate pieces. You know, if you go back to the post-fight interview, right? Kell Brook says not only was his eye socket, you know, broken or what he said he was having a hard time seeing. But what Kell Brook said that stood out to me, Kell Brook said, look, he says, I could have continued fighting, he says, but he was getting stronger as the rounds went on. He says, Errol Spence kept getting stronger and stronger. So I didn't want to take that risk and, you know, really get injured more than I already am, you know. And people don't even know Errol Spence broke his ribs too. He broke Kell Brook's ribs too. So, I mean, you know, and hit my like button. If you in the building, if you watching me on Facebook, you know, if you could do it now or you could do it after the show, go to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Everything Boxing and Sports. Hit the like button on the YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you get all of my notifications when I come on or when I drop videos. But yeah, that's just what it is. Willis Corey says Cleo Floyd Brooke, he says, he talking to Cleo. He talking to Cleo. Adrian Jones says Kell Brook is a lose-lose situation for Crawford. If he loses, they will talk shit. Excuse me. He says if he wins, they will say Brook is washed and GGG and Spence is washed up and Triple G and Spence's leftovers. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like I said, it's not, because if he go in there and he knock Kell Brook out and just run through Kell Brook, can't nobody really say nothing but, okay, well, he did what he was supposed to do. That's the worst thing anybody could say if he go in there and run through Kell Brook is, okay, well, Kell Brook was washed up, but Terrence Crawford still went in there and handled his business and did what he was supposed to do, right? Right? And then you got the diehard Terrence Crawford fans. They gonna take that shit and they gonna run with it because they all gonna say, look, he did better than Errol Spence. He got him out of there earlier than Errol Spence did. That shows you that Terrence Crawford is better than Errol Spence. So you got two sides of it. So it's not a lose-lose situation for Terrence Crawford. It's a lose situation if Terrence Crawford goes in there and loses, or Terrence Crawford goes in there and he doesn't get a knockout. Catfish Hunter says, trust. He wasn't the same Kell Brook that fought Sean Porter. You should have stayed in his weight class. Nah, we not going to do that. We not going to say that Kell Brook wasn't the same that he was when he fought Sean Porter. He was the same Kell Brook. He might have been more susceptible to an injury. But like I said, if you go back and watch that fight, Spence broke him down. I mean, y'all, some people act like they just started watching boxing. Go back and watch the fight. Spence broke him down. He didn't start fucking with his eye until Spence was already beating the shit out of him. Willis Corey says 3 years since fighting at 147. That's Brook's downfall. Crawford stay in shape at 147. That's true. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I cannot debate you on that. Ronald Finkley says T.O. Ho said don't take that offer. He gonna beat T Bud in 2020 as a classic American ducker. Cleo Flores says Lomo is pissed off. He says I can see him embarrassing Lopez, but Lopez has a puncher's chance. Lomo will have to be careful all fights. This is what I'm gonna say on this real quick. Loma, right? Everybody that's banking on Teofimo Lopez getting a knockout against Lomachenko or Teofimo Lopez having a puncher's chance, that ain't shit. You got to understand how seasoned Lomachenko is. Lomachenko didn't see every type of fighter and your granddaddy. You dig what I'm saying? He didn't see every type of fighter and your great-great-granddaddy. It ain't no type of fighter that Vasyl Lomachenko ain't been in the ring with and seen. So a puncher's chance against him is slim to none. You going in there with a puncher's chance against Vasyl Lomachenko is slim to none. Just like we used to see fighters like Floyd Mayweather and Pernell Whitaker make adjustments. And I'm not saying that Lomachenko is on their level before anybody go off and start saying I'm comparing them. But Lomachenko is able to make adjustments. His ring IQ is very, very high. He can make the adjustments. Teofimo Lopez, he's young, he's green. He got athleticism and youth on his side. But yeah, it ain't happening. I'm telling you. Lomachenko gonna go in there and embarrass this boy. World Combat Sports. Oh yeah, anytime for sure. Willis Corey says Loma finna make it look like nothing. Telling y'all, man. Catfish Hunter says, but what's gonna be said if Bud stops him early? Then what? Like I said, Catfish, if Bud stop him early, you got some people that's gonna use that and say that shows that he's better than Errol Spence, right? The diehard Bud Crawford fans are gonna take that and use that and say, look, Errol Spence couldn't stop him early, right? Then you got other boxing fans or critics or whatever, that's gonna say that, well, Kell Brook was washed up, but Terrence Crawford still went in there and did what he had to do. Because if Terrence Crawford go in there and knocks out Bud Crawford early, right? You can't say nothing. Okay, if Kell Brook was washed up, that ain't Terrence Crawford's fault. You dig what I'm saying? That's not Terrence Crawford's fault. All Terrence Crawford can do is go in there and do what he's supposed to do, right? Go in there and beat and win the fight in dominant fashion. So you can't say nothing if he go in there and knock and stop Kell Brook early. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. If he go in there and stop Kell Brook early, you got to give him his credit. Period. Ronald Finkley says he would like to see where Brook is training. Brook is over there training in the UK. Last I seen is Brook is training in the UK. And everybody that's in the building, hit my like button. It don't even cost nothing. Don't cost nothing. And you see my Cash App scrolling across the screen. If you want to donate and support the channel, hit the Cash App. It's right there scrolling across the screen. Let me see. Willis Corey says, Lomo feet fast. Lomo got all the footwork in the world. Brown Foster Show says Lopez got skills too. Yeah, he got skills, but his skill level to me is not on the same as Lomachenko. Lomachenko is at another level skill wise. But Lopez, Lopez. Let's not forget that we seen Lopez struggle before too. Before the fight that Lopez had before he fought Richard Comey, he struggled when he fought that Asian guy. He was struggling in that fight for a while. People tend to forget that, but everybody wanted to make excuses for him, saying that he had family issues and this, and that. But don't nobody want to make excuses for Vasyl Lomachenko when he go into fights with off of shoulder surgery, or when he tear his shoulder in a fight. So I mean, let's not make excuses for one guy and then not do the same for the other. Brown Foster Show says, yes, Lomo is a beast, but he says Lopez gonna stop him, I guarantee. Brown Foster Show, hit me up in my inbox, and whatever you want to bet on that fight, you know what I'm saying, we could bet on that fight. You dig what I'm saying? So once again, Brown Foster Show, holla at me in my inbox. Whatever you want to bet on that fight, we could bet on that fight. Ellie Dogbay says, I think Jerron Ennis is ready for the big boys. Ronald Finkley says, let me see. He said, I want to just sit back and watch what the fuck Lopez and Lomo do. He says, boxing needs this fight. Oh, yeah, this a fight that now it's beef. It's real beef with that fight. You know what I'm saying? It's real personal. Because if I got to pay you, if I'm a fighter and I got to pay you out of my own pocket just to get you in the ring, I'm going to try to hurt you, or I'm going to try to embarrass you. I'm going to try to make an example out of you. Now I got a real point to prove. Because on the other end, how will Lomachenko look paying out of his pocket to get his ass whooped? Imagine that. Imagine you paying out of your own pocket to get your ass whooped. Where they do that at? And I don't see that happening. Catfish Hunter says, no matter how he beat him, and ain't no measuring the fight until Bud and Spence fight, because Kell beat the hell out of Porter. Yeah, you right, Catfish. But like I said, we got Kell, we got Terrence Crawford. He still got to get past Kell Brook, and Errol Spence still got to get past Danny Garcia. And I believe they both will, you know, and I'm looking for them both to do it in devastating fashion. Ronald Fink, let me see. Cleo Floyd says, I think this is Lomo's toughest fight. Lopez is green, but young. He says hungry and has fast hands. He's explosive. He says, I think this will be a good fight. He said what he did to Comey was impressive. Cleo Floyd, I agree and I don't agree, because to me, I think Lomo's toughest fight, I think Lomo's toughest opponent still to this day was Gary Russell Jr. And Lomo's toughest opponent still would be Gary Russell Jr. if I had to pick between Gary Russell Jr. and Teofimo Lopez. I think Gary Russell Jr. got it all. But you know, Teofimo Lopez, you know, he's explosive. He's explosive. And as far as the fight that he had with Richard Comey, like I said, it was a solid victory, but Richard Comey was a tailor-made opponent that was going to bang with you. He going to hit, he going to knock you out or get knocked out. Richard Comey, he's, you know what I'm saying, that's what he do. He going to stand right in front of you, and he's going to be there to get hit, you know? And they was banging with each other, and we saw what happened. When you bang with each other like that, you know, it's a very, very good chance somebody going to get knocked out. Teofimo Lopez was the more powerful, more bigger guy, you know, and his shot landed first. And, you know, from there, it was good night, Irene. It was night. You dig? That guy says, I don't give Brook a big chance at all, but I would love the fight to come to the UK. He says Bob should have made the Crawford versus Khan fight over here. Well, if you in the UK, I mean, I can't knock you. If you living in the UK, you supposed to want all of the big fights to be in the UK. But I mean, that the big, you know, that's, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The money, when fans are in attendance, the money is over here in the US, and that's a fact. Ronald Finkley says, pay to get slayed classic. Hey, for real, who pay out of their pocket to get their ass beat? I ain't seen it yet. And I don't think I'll be seeing it. But if Vasil Lomachenko, if it ends up happening to him, that's gonna be embarrassing. Brown Foster Show says, remember yesterday you said Floyd took less money. I think he meant to say less money, but really wanted more against Oscar. Well, Floyd he took less money. You know what I'm saying? He wanted more because he knew what the Oscar De La Hoya fight was worth. But he knew that Oscar was the A side, and he felt that he could beat Oscar. He believed in himself. So Floyd Mayweather knew, okay, I'll take whatever y'all giving me now. But after this, y'all kiss my black ass. Because after this, it's on and popping. Now everybody got to, you know what I'm saying, answer to what I want. And that's exactly what he did. But people tend to forget, you know, that Floyd Mayweather made sacrifices to get where he, you know, eventually ended up at. Brown Foster Show says Gary Russell need a real fight against somebody. Gary Russell just had a real fight. King, the dude King Tug that he just fought. That dude is a problem. Just because you're not familiar with him, just because you know everybody's not familiar with him, don't sleep on the guy that Gary Russell just fought. That King Tug dude is a fucking problem. Remember his name. So Gary Russell, you know, his last fight, he showed what he is and what he been. Let me see. Rory says Crawford will be tested. Kell naturally bigger and Crawford a small cat, and Kell can box. He says, as far as Danny, he says, I don't think he ever had to deal with 12 rounds of body blows. I think Spence stops him in 9 rounds. Like I said, like I've been saying, Crawford could be tested in this fight, but we got to see. We got to see what Kell Brook we get. It all depends on what Kell Brook comes into that fight. As far as the Danny Garcia and Errol Spence, and I'm going to cook on Danny Garcia and Errol Spence, but I'm not really going to get deep into that tonight. But as far as that fight, I don't see Errol Spence stopping Danny Garcia just because Danny Garcia, he a tough motherfucker. Like, you can't sleep on Danny Garcia. But I do see Errol Spence beating the dog shit out of him. But you know, I think that fight gonna be a war. Them styles, if you look at the two styles, that fight is gonna be a war. Bob Brown Foster says Tug is a problem, but not against somebody like Gary Russell. He gonna be a problem for a lot of them cats, a lot of them dudes at 126 and 130. Tug is a problem. Gary Russell just another type of dude. I had to drink the rest of my sea moss. So that's basically what I gotta say on Terrence Crawford and Kell Brook. It's a dangerous fight in different ways for both opponents, you know, and I can't wait to see what ends up happening. Now, I want to go ahead and get into, before I get off of here, I want to get into Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Now, it's crazy to me how many loopholes Deontay Wilder has to go through. Everybody talking about how much better Tyson Fury and what Tyson Fury is going to do in the trilogy. But why are they making Deontay Wilder go through all types of loopholes, right? So Bob Arum, not too long ago, he came out and he said that, you know, they need to push back and postpone the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight because they want to have the fight, you know, next year, early next year, so they can have fans attend. That, you know, it's too big of a fight to have with no fans attending, right? So bam, I'm like, okay, cool. Push it back a month or two. Bam, it makes sense. What Bob Arum's saying, as a businessman, it makes sense, right? Bam, okay. I don't have no problem with that. Okay, right? But then you got your boy Frank Warren, right? Tyson Fury's other promoter, his co-promoter. He comes out and he says that if Deontay Wilder doesn't fight Tyson Fury this year, right? If he don't fight Tyson Fury this year, as stated in the contract, that they're not going to fight Deontay Wilder. They're going to go ahead and do other things and try to fight Anthony Joshua or whoever else. He says, Frank Warren says that no, Tyson Fury's not going to wait a month or two to fight Deontay Wilder. That if he can't fight Deontay Wilder in December, that they're not going to fight at all. Right? So you got Frank Warren saying one thing, and you got Bob Arum saying one thing. But you got Deontay Wilder, you know, he's standing on his square talking about he don't care when he fight. He don't care, you know what I'm saying? He still want to fight. He don't care if it's fans or no fans. He still want to fight Tyson Fury, right? He still wants to fight Tyson Fury, fans or no fans. But you got Bob Arum, he telling you, nah, it can't happen until next year because we need fans. Then you got Frank Warren, his other promoter, saying, oh, well, if they don't fight as it's stated in the contract this year, in the year 2020, we're not going to fight him. We're going to go somewhere else. Right? So when I hear this, I'm like, hold on. They trying to play Deontay Wilder. Right? Somebody trying to play him. Somebody trying to play Wilder, right? To basically freeze him out so they can get around fighting Deontay Wilder and go right to Anthony Joshua like they want to do, right? Now, so that's they going back and forth with that, right? Now it comes out that, you know, hey, that they are going to push the fight, you know, they going to push the fight back, right? And Tyson Fury, not only that, Tyson Fury is not going to fight Wilder next, right? This is what Mauricio Suleiman, the WBC, the crooked ass Mauricio Suleiman comes out and says Tyson Fury can fight whoever he wants next. He don't got to fight Wilder next. You know what I'm saying? He could have a tune-up fight in between the Wilder fight, right? We're granting him, he can do basically what he wants. He can fight whoever he wants. He could have a tune-up fight because there's no fans. We know that's a big fight. So Tyson Fury could have a tune-up fight in between the Wilder fight, right? Right? So now, stay with me here. Stay with me here because I'm going somewhere, right? So this is what Mauricio Suleiman says, right? Tyson Fury, he don't got to fight Wilder next. We probably ain't going to make that fight next. We going to let him have a tune-up fight in between the Wilder fight, right? Okay, bet. Okay, that's cool because we're in a pandemic. We know that we're in the pandemic and we know everybody knows what's going on. We know how big that fight is. But if you go back to what Frank Warren, Tyson Fury's promoter, was saying, right, just recently, that Tyson Fury will not fight Deontay Wilder if it's not as stated in the contract in 2020 that they're going to move along and go elsewhere. So when you put all that together, what does that sound like to you? Because if they're able to basically point out a loophole in the contract when it comes down to, say, Tyson Fury has his tune-up fight. It's 2021. He have his tune-up fight, and then 2021 comes, right? And now Deontay Wilder, like, okay, bam, let's make the fight now. Let's make the fight that everybody been waiting on. Let's make the fight. Couldn't they go and say, look, in your contract, it states that we had to fight by 2020. It didn't state that we had to fight by 2020, but if something happens with the pandemic, we can push it, we can push it to the side and fight down the line. Frank Warren is already telling you that if they don't have the fight in 2020, he's not obligated to fight Wilder. They'll go and fight Anthony Joshua and look elsewhere. You feel what I'm saying? So all that shit seems funny to me. I'm not saying that Tyson Fury is the one that is ducking Deontay Wilder, but if you look at what Frank Warren is saying, what Mauricio Suleiman is saying, and if you look at what Bob Arum is saying, something ain't right. Something ain't right. It looked like to me that I wouldn't be surprised if they found a loophole in the contract and say, well, hey, they didn't fight in 2020. Fuck it. We can go ahead and fight Anthony Joshua now. I'm sorry for you, Wilder. The contract here says that we had to fight in 2020. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, Wilder, he wants to fight now, or if he got to wait, he wants to fight either way. But they the ones that's trying to, move around and change. They trying to move the goalposts and change up. That shit ain't sitting right with me. Because like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the time came early 2020 and then they make an excuse and say, hey, we're going to go ahead and fight Anthony Joshua because we ain't got to fight him no more because it's not that we was contracted to fight him in 2020. You feel me? That's that bullshit. Let me see what y'all talking about in the comment section. Brown Foster Show says Tyson really want to move on to fight AJ. That's what it's really looking like. Wilder got to be first and last in the fight to win. Man, this shit crazy. You said bring the push-up challenge back on Facebook. I mean, ain't nothing for me to bring to the challenge. I did 100 push-ups. You know what I'm saying? I had the push-up challenge. I did 100 push-ups. Didn't nobody else match me? Nobody else matched me when I did the 100 push-ups. I think one of my partners on my other page did. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, everybody stopped at like when I did, I think 80 or 60. Didn't nobody match me. If somebody want to bring the push-up challenge back and start it off and do the 100 and we could go from there. But I mean, shit, I did my part. But I mean, I'm with it. Like I said, I'm with it. And hit my like button. If you in the building, once again, subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Everything Boxing and Sports, and hit the like button because it don't take no time and it don't cost nothing to hit a like button. What's good with it, Steven? Steven Coney off in the building. What's happening with it? Christopher Cancel says, what's the big deal with the fans? They still will make their money no matter what. Well, you got to think. And BFTB made a good point earlier when he was cooking on this subject, right? He made a good point, right? They talking about money, but Tyson Fury, like he said, BFTB said, and he had a good point. He said Tyson Fury already got paid. Tyson Fury had a guaranteed contract, a 6-fight contract, right? 6-fight deal for $100 million. So if that's true, which I don't know if that was true or not, if that's true, that means that they got to pay Tyson Fury no matter what. So what he worried about? He ain't worried about getting paid because it's contracted. They have to pay him no matter what. So, I mean, like I said, if you put everything that I said together, if you put what Frank Warren said, what Bob Arum said, And what crooked ass Mauricio Suleiman of the WBC said, right? If you put all them together, right? Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. If you put all them together, and if you go and listen to everything each one of them dudes said, something ain't sitting right. You know, something ain't sitting right. Now, basically, if this happens and Tyson Fury takes a tune up, all we got now is to basically hope that Tyson Fury is a man and he stand on his word as a man and give Deontay Wilder the rematch. Because from once again, from what Frank Warren is saying, if they don't fight in 2020, he's not contractually obligated to give Deontay Wilder a third fight if it don't happen this year. So, I mean, you know, Ronald Finkley says that too will not pass. Go everything. Strip Tyson. He said that ain't gonna pass. He said they need to strip Tyson Fury. That's not gonna happen because we already see now that since Tyson Fury has the title, Mauricio Suleiman is showing him all the love in the world for the WBC, right? And Mauricio Suleiman is giving him free reign to fight whoever he wants to fight. How many tune-ups and warm-ups do this man need? The same shit happened after the first Wilder fight. So, I mean, I don't know, man. And then if Tyson Fury takes a tune-up, will Deontay Wilder take a tune-up? When the last time we seen Wilder fight a nobody and take a tune-up? You dig what I'm saying? Like, what does Wilder do? Does he sit on the shelf and wait on Tyson Fury and wait to see if Tyson Fury be a man of his word and give him that third fight? What does he do? We don't know. And then we know that now that Wilder is not a champion, them dudes is not going to be eager to get in the ring with Deontay Wilder now. Them dudes are not going to be in the ring eager to get in the ring with Deontay Wilder now. Right? Shit, they not going to be eager to get in the ring with that man now. You know, that now they don't have no title to win. They're not going to want to go in there and face that fire. And a Deontay Wilder, a pissed off, mad Deontay Wilder that really got something to prove, man, it's going to be hard for him. It's going to be hard for Wilder to get fights from now on until he gets that strap back around his waist. Believe that. Khalil says, do you really believe that Wilder can beat Tyson Fury? Yeah, I believe that Wilder could put Tyson Fury to sleep like he did in the first fight. Rory says, I feel what you saying, but it can be in Wilder's favor low key. If Joshua win, that will force him to fight Wilder so the fans still get what they want. Nah, but see, Rory, this is the thing. If Anthony Joshua wins, Anthony Joshua is not going to fight Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder he's not going to fight Wilder. He's not going to be obligated to fight Wilder, and he's not going to fight Wilder. He might fight Usyk. He might fight Dillian White again. He might have a rematch with Tyson Fury again, but he ain't going to fight Wilder. That's one thing I know he's not going to do. So if, like I said, if Wilder don't get that Tyson Fury fight and win that belt back, Wilder will be blackballed out of the heavyweight division. He will be frozen out of the heavyweight division. Believe that. Stephen Pope says push-up challenge versus Tyler Kerr against Blu-ray. Man, I ain't messing with that dude. He be on some shit. Like I say, I give credit where credit is due. He be on some shit. Blu-ray be on some shit. Man, Blu-ray be doing his thing. Like I said, I gotta give credit where credit is due. And I started doing some of Blu-ray's workouts. Blu-ray's workouts, he got some monster workouts. Ronald Finkley, appreciate it. Lombros Kulos, what's good with it, man? I ain't seen you in a long time. He says, coming from that 313. I was just out there in Detroit. I was out there for a minute. Actually, I just got back, I just got back from Detroit last week, the end of last week. So I was just out there in your city. D-Lo 404 Boxing, what's good with it? He says, without a strap, Wilder is in Luis Ortiz territory. Yeah, without a strap, Wilder's in Luis Ortiz territory. Ain't none of them dudes gonna fight him. Wilder is only gonna get fights against lower opposition that need to make a name for themselves, right? He only gonna get he's only gonna get fights against lower level opposition, guys that's coming up that don't have a choice but to fight somebody like Wilder to make a name for themselves, right? Other than that, Wilder's gonna be frozen out. So this whole shit don't sit right with me. So we just gotta sit back and we gotta see what happens. If it turns out that they don't fight right in this year, because Bob Arum let it be known that he was planning on fighting in Raiders Stadium. Raiders Stadium, I think, is gonna hold over 100,000+ fans, right? Raiders Stadium holds over 100,000+, right? I think Bob Arum had a plan to, okay, let's put 20,000 in there. We could have them social distance, however they could do it. We can put 20,000. But the Raiders Stadium, the Raiders came out and they said they're not having no fans in their stadium in 2020 whatsoever at all. They not gonna have no fans. So that presented a problem for Bob Arum, Top Rank, in the fight between Wilder and Tyson Fury. Because, like I said, those are the plans that Bob Arum had for the fight. He had planned to have fans in the Raiders Stadium for that fight. Now, without fans, you can't pay both of these dudes 30, 40 mil a piece. You just can't do it. You dig what I'm saying? I mean, if you just solely banking off a pay-per-view, you just can't do it. So what Bob Arum is saying, it makes a lot of sense. Right? What Bob Arum was saying it makes a lot of sense. What Frank Warren was saying sounds like some coward shit to make an excuse for Tyson Fury not to have to face Deontay Wilder to go have a mega fight with Anthony Joshua, right? So that's just what it is. That's what it is. So we got to sit back. We got to see what happens, how this plays out, and we got to see that if it plays out to where they don't fight this year, we got to see that if Tyson Fury stand on his square, be a man, stud up, and be a man of his word. Be a man of his word and go ahead and go through with the fight. So we got to see. I'm not gonna put nothing on Tyson Fury at this point in time. I'm not gonna say that he's ducking. I'm not gonna say that he's trying to get out of the fight, but we will soon see and we will soon find out. And that's just what it is. Rory says, yeah, I can see them fucking over Wilder like that. He says, now you painted the picture. Man, I'm saying some with all of that, some ain't right. But it's up to Tyson Fury at the end of the day to stand on his square and be a man of his word, right? It's up to Tyson Fury. So let's put the pressure on him. Let's keep the pressure on this fight. Because I know a lot of fans don't even want to see Tyson Fury and Wilder fight. A lot of UK fans, they want to see Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, right? But we need that run back with Wilder. We need that run back. Wilder wants that run back. You know what I'm saying? He's drooling at the mouth for that run back. You know what I'm saying? He's drooling at the mouth like a hungry Rottweiler. He needs that. So, with that being said, like I said, everybody make sure that you subscribe to my channel, Everything Boxing and Sports on YouTube. Hit my like button because it don't take no time to hit the like button. It's free. And if you want to support the channel, you know what I'm saying, support the channel, hit up my Cash App. It's right there scrolling across the screen. And I'm out. That's it for today. I'm going to be back on here tomorrow because we got a lot more boxing to talk about. We got a lot more to cook on. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And you already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again. I don't watch reality TV. I watch boxing. And anything ain't everything, but around here, everything boxing. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Come check me out tomorrow. I'm out.